Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Link Experience. We are so excited today to have special guest DwannB. He is a stand-up comedian, he is a radio personality, and he is so much more. Welcome, Mr. DwannB. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Black Link Magazine. My name is Marva B. I am the CEO and founder, and I'm so excited for today and this interview with DwannB. Thank you so much for coming to Black Link Magazine. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I much appreciate it. I appreciate the invite. Thank you again.
Yeah, so I want to shout out Miss Giselle as well for connecting us. Shout out to her for all that she does. We really appreciate her.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into the interview and have you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience and to the world, who you are and what you do.
All right. My name is Dwann Brown, publicly known as DwannB. I go by DwannB because that's the only Twitter handle they had left that didn't have Dwann Brown. So people just call me by my Twitter handle, DwannB. But I'm Dwann Brown in full. I do a lot. I'm a stand-up comedian. I just put out my documentary. It's bigger than hip hop, the Black American music family tree. So I guess you can add that to the list now. Author, written books from my years working with children on how to communicate with love to your family. Did that for over 25 years working with family and children on their communication and behavior. I do that. I'm also a card reader. People know me. I'm mentioning this because I have followings in all these different areas, and oftentimes they don't intersect.
Right.
Like I'm a card reader, and I have a bunch of clients over there too that I help them with their communication. My degree is in communication studies, so I'm really good. I'm a communicator, and I help people resolve their family communication issues. And so I do it through traditional college degree style, and I also do it through the more esoteric style. I have both styles that I do, and I combine the two along with my documentaries, along with my comedy. And I'm a drummer, MC, and yeah, I'm certified in all of these. Like a recent video of me doing all this stuff if you think I'm BSing.
How did you have time to interview with me with everything that you have going on? That's amazing. So I can imagine your schedule.
Very busy.
Yeah, so I want to just talk about you and let's just get to know about you. You said a lot. So just growing up, when you as you were growing up, what was it that you really wanted to be? Was there one thing or another, or did you know that this is where you would land in your adulthood? Let's talk about that.
Had no clue this is where I would land. I was raised like everyone else, go to school, go to college, get a job, you know? So I thought I was going to go to college, get my degree and get a job and work somewhere. And the things that I do now professionally, these were just hobbies growing up. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted to play the drums. So when I got into the 8th, 9th grade, I taught myself how to play. My dad got me a drum set. We had a garage in the backyard. I taught myself how to play. Like each skill that I have, I crafted it in its own time and then just kept building more skills on top of that. So the drums were just fun. You know, I just wanted to play it. I played at church, and I played at church for over 20 years. You know, I never even wanted to be a full-time professional drummer, you know, because I never wanted to get involved with the drama of the music industry. Right. But along with me playing the drums, I'm a naturally curious person. So when I learned how to play, I learned the history. Who are the greatest drummers? Who are the greatest bands of all time? My first song I learned how to play on the drums was "I Get Around" by Tupac. That was real easy for me to play. And then I heard a song called on the old school station called "I Want to Be Free" by the Ohio Players. And that song has this monster drum solo at the beginning of it. And that just turned my life around. Like, I want to sound like that. And so from there, I got into 70s music. And my dad, he would play all that stuff in my dad's music that got me into 70s music. Like, okay, now I'm like, who's Earth, and Fire? Who's Parliament Funkadelic? So I started studying these people. And then from there, I found out their influences. They were influenced by Count Basie and Dizzy Gillespie. So I started studying Count Basie and Dizzy Gillespie. Oh. Then I found out Basie, Dizzy Gillespie, they were inspired by Louis Armstrong. And so it was really my personal study. I'm a curious person. Who are these people? Who is that person? So when my documentary came out of and where I am right now, when people see me as how can you do all this stuff and do a music documentary, it's that I never focused and set out to be a documentarian. I'm just a curious person. Right. And I wanted to learn this stuff. And then being a beautiful thing about being raised in LA, the people who go to your church are just happen to be people who did monumental things. You know, like one of my people in my band played trumpet for Earth, and Fire. Another one, his dad wrote like a whole bunch of hits for different. So I would just pick their brains as a teenager. You know, you toured Earth and Fire. How was it? And you know, you get to meet people, neighbors, and that did things. You play the drums for this band. Now you meet a producer who made all these great songs. Like my wife's dad is one of the greatest music producers ever. Like he produced Michael Jackson and the Commodores. And so I can at the kitchen table ask him any question I want about Marvin Gaye or Barry White or these people. So this just years of my personal curiosity coming together, and then combine that with my college degree in communication studies, my minor in cultural anthropology. That teaches you how to source information, how to discriminate good information from bad information when you have a minor in cultural anthropology. So now I know how to research. Now I know how to combine what I'm curiously naturally at with scholarship. And my degree in communication studies teaches me how to explain that to you in minute detail and answer any and all questions, answering who, what, when, where, why, and how. Right. So, you know, I'm not telling you in my documentary to trust me. I'm giving you the multiple points of references the same way I would when I had to turn in my college examinations on any particular topic. Right. So really it's just me. And I got a college degree because my mom was like, if you're going to stay in this house after 18, you better go to college. And I'm like, all right. So it's not like I set out to be this grand scholar doing all this stuff. No, it was just my curiosity combined with my scholarship.
Yeah. So you talk about, you're also a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
But what piqued my interest was is that you said, I'm not afraid to push boundaries. A lot of people want to say stuff, they won't say it, or they, you know, they're thinking things, but they're not going to say it. You push boundaries. Let's talk about your boldness and you wanting to do that for the culture, you know, with just as it pertains to our culture.
It's just that I could be naturally a little bit petty, a little, you know, I'm fun. I have good graces with everyone. I don't have any enemies out there, but I like to kind of poke the bear a little bit because that's how I am with my curiosity. I'm very quick to question what I know. Right. So I'm quicker to destroy somebody else's paradigm if I think it's stupid. Just me being silly. Because I'm also naturally funny. So I got into comedy just because I was out on a date one time and I told some chick that, yeah, I'm gonna do funny comedy one day. Yeah, I'm just bragging. I wasn't planning on doing comedy. She's like, you should be a comedian. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it one day. So then she called somebody and was like, I have a friend that wants to be a comedian here. And she hands me the phone. I'm like, okay, yeah, next Monday? Okay, I'll be there. And I did it and it was fun. And I stayed there. And then when I found that I could, not only can I make people laugh, I could push boundaries through laughter. And because, you know, everything that I understand now comes from me not understanding that before and me having to destroy something that I thought was true and then realizing that it's not. So I kind of have a little bit of fun pushing those boundaries because when I observe life, when I observe people, most of what we all believe is BS that was fed to us. Things our parents didn't even know. They were just passing along the best information that they had. People just pass along, people repeat cliches. It sounds good, so I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to repeat it, and we live by it, and we never question why we live by these paradigms. So I'm someone who likes to question paradigms, and I use, like, being a comedian, that's what I can hide behind that veil and get away with it more than I can in other forms of communication.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah.
So you're into radio. You also have a YouTube channel where celebrity guests come and you guys talk about any and everything. Let's talk about how you built that. How do you build your YouTube and you build in radio and have these people to come and just be vulnerable with you?
Well, for me, it's natural. Like when I ask my questions, I ask questions really through spirit. I let my spirit decide what to go with, and I love people. I don't want to ever make someone look bad. If you come around me, we're gonna make ourselves look great because we all have bad sides. I talk about it.
I love it.
And for my YouTube side, I started off doing a lot of interviews. The last couple of years, I for the most part do it by myself, only because I hate scheduling interviews. People be flaky, and I'm not a flaky person. If I tell you 12 o'clock Saturday, I'm gonna be there 11:59. Boom, I don't play.
That's right.
But people are always So the interviews have been harder over the last couple years, just because I just don't want to deal with people's flakiness. But I have to interview. Like most of my interviews now I'm doing for my documentary, And on
Yeah.
my Incense and Ashtrays channel, like there's a duty of mine to document the music and document these stories. So
Yeah.
when I meet these people, I find them, even if it's just for a few minutes, I like to talk to them so I can get their stories out there.
Yeah.
So on my music channel, Incense and Ashtrays, I'm about to start coming out with more interviews again. And then and I have a series of interviews I just conducted for my next episode of my documentary. And on the next episode of my documentary, it's going to be focused on gospel. And so I just recently interviewed Kenneth Crouch. He's Andre Crouch's nephew.
Huh.
Great, but he's also been music director for Lenny Kravitz. And he's, he does everything musically. Tashina,
Awesome.
yeah, Tashina Arnold. She's in my next episode, and then she's gonna be talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but I saw her in a picture. Was that her on the stage with you or by
Yeah,
herself? I was like, that's just Tashina, and she can sing.
she's saying
She can sing her butt off.
we have a live music night that we do here together in LA. We're gonna start it
Oh,
back up in January, but we did a couple shows this past November, where I MC it and she sings, and I explain everything that I'm doing in my documentary, talking music. I explain it with my live band, and I also integrate my comedy. We bring in like surprise singers.
uh-huh.
We also showcase new up and coming singers. So
Okay.
part of the show is up and coming singers with good voices singing cover tunes in front of with our live band.
Very brilliant.
That way we can showcase some people coming up. But then she comes in, T gets on stage, and people don't understand how great of a performer she is when it comes to that singing. As great as she was on Martin acting,
Yeah, we just got a little bit of her. I can imagine.
oh, she has a full body voice. So it's not one of those no, no, no. No, 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 no. And when she sings in the key of the tune of the song that she's covering. Like, so when she does like her Tina Marie medley,
Yeah.
she sings this, she's an alto, but still sing in Tina Marie's key.
Ooh.
Like, that's how great of a singer she is. People don't know she's not a good singer, she's a great singer.
Wow.
And we get to showcase this stuff in our night, and when we do a little bit of improv, me and her back and forth. But yeah, I do it all, like, because when you don't have a big profile like me, people just really not really knowing who you are. I like to show people that I do it on the internet, but there's also a tangible thing right here in LA. I do this for real too. This isn't some place.
So let's talk about the documentary, because I really want to get into that. I was on a Zoom with you guys, and it was really interesting, the things that I heard. First of all, before we talk about that documentary, I want to talk about the music industry. Everyone that I talk to, and I talk to A-list celebrities down to the everyday person as well, and everybody that talks about that industry, I'm trying to find the good in it, right? Why, after you hear their stories, why do people want to be in the industry if it's that horrible? Like, right? So I want to know from your side of things what your take is on the music industry.
It's funny you say that, because this is where me and Tashina Arnold connect. We've been connected, but one of our music connections is neither of us really wanted to ever get involved in the music industry. It's too poisonous.
Yes.
Like, I'm a drummer. Music is my heart and my soul.
Yeah.
So all those years I played, I basically stuck to church. I would only do a mainstream or pop kind of song if I knew the artist personally, and like, okay, I'm playing the drums for my friend. I never wanted to just be in it, and and she says the same thing. When she sees it's so dirty. At least the actors have unions and protections. Musicians don't have none of that. They'll come and take some of your stuff. You'll lay some stuff down. They'll take it, and you'll hear it all over the radio, and you'll be driving Uber hearing your song.
Yep.
And so for me, my relationship, that's why I look at my relationship now with music. I'm a documentarian on music. I document. I have the ear. I see. I know everything it takes to do music. I just don't want to be intimately involved. Right. My job is to report on those who are and show and I'm very secure in my position. Like, I see other drummers. I used to be 10, 20 years ago. Oh, I'll shred that dude. I don't care about that no more. Like, I know I can't play like that no more. So my job is to report on those who can. My job is and so right now, what I do is I'm in the music industry with my own level of control. I got my own show that I produce. Yeah. It ain't got nobody else on it live. When I do play, like on my website, I have sample packs where I have some tracks of me playing the drums. So producers want to buy me on the drums, they can do it. Yeah. Sign their waiver agreement. Their royalty-free packs. So my relationship with the music industry is at my will, you know, because I don't know if I can answer your question. How do people get into it full time? Because it's so grimy, it's so dirty, it's so it just zap your love. And then what I noticed is a lot of people who have been doing it for a long time, they're very bitter, very angry. They're not even the best people to be around. Like one of my favorite people to ever be around in music is Kenneth Crouch, because I'd be like, how did you do music this long? And he has absolutely no bitterness towards it. So like for me, he's somebody who's like kind of like a beacon, like, okay, is one of the few people that I've met who've done music on every level. You know, he's from Lenny Kravitz to, you know, his uncle to J-Lo to everybody. He's done music with everybody. But he keeps, he still has a love for it. And I always look at him as, in a lot of ways, the exception. Because it just takes from people. It takes.
It does. It does. And that's why I'm just like, I'm just so curious, like people, and I always, at the end of the, you know, during the conversation, I'm saying, what is the best advice that you would give someone, since you had all those experiences, that wants to get in this business, right?
Best advice I would give would be to do it from your heart and pay it. I wish I had the book in front of me. Read up on it. I don't have the book in front of me, but there are books out there too that tell you where the money, mechanics, right, all the rights. Get the books yourself. Learn the industry yourself if you want to do it. Get a few friends. Always ear hustle. Find out what people are doing, because there's always new ways people to innovate in making music. People are always doing something to push ahead and expound the boundaries, and also to do it from, like, listen to your soul. You're gonna, because something in your soul and your spirit may give you an idea that'll get you around all the BS. But people be so busy to run and conform. You know, listen to your heart and you listen to your soul.
Yeah. And I think also, you know, just be, like you said, like, you just be yourself, be authentic. Don't let anyone change you for a second. A lot of the problem is, you know, people are changing you, making you do things or be who you're not. And I think you have to just always be authentic to yourself, be who you are.
Be authentic, because when they can change you, they got you.
They got you.
But let me give you the honest truth. Even within the music industry, same with comedy, there are very few innovators. Most people are copycats. Most people in music should probably be driving a garbage truck, honestly. You know what I mean? Because you find the real ones who are the most sincere and real about it, those be the ones that are scared to get in it. And those in it be the ones like, what are you doing here? But they're the biggest imitators and copycats and followers, but the industry looks for those types because they can control those types. And when the industry sees an innovator, they'll be like, eh.
Yeah. It's not for the weak at heart. It's not for the faint at heart. You better have a backbone coming into that.
Better.
Yeah. Yeah. You also are the founder of Breakthrough Advocacy, if I said that right.
Yes.
Let's talk about that and the teams and what you do for that function.
Well, honestly, the documentary, everything that I do ties into one story. It may sound like I do all these different things, but it really comes through the progression of life. As you live life, you see needs that need to be met. And I'm the kind of person that I'm not going to say, okay, what is the president doing? What is that black leader doing? If it is to be, it's up to me, you know? And so how that started was, I started working with children in 1995 as a 14-year-old. My doctor was my muse, and he still is, Dr. Lawrence Robertson. I got to call him. He's still alive. I love him. But my doctor was somebody I always looked up to, you know? And I grew up in a family where everybody grew up and everyone had a job. My doctor was the person that owned his own business.
Right.
So he owned his own. So I would just be under him. He was like a mentor in a lot of ways. And he had a program at King Drew Medical Center in Watts that was a Saturday school program, supplemental education. And then once a year, he would take the kids on camp, and he would take them to either UC Santa Barbara, Pepperdine University, UC San Diego, and spend a week on the college campus. And every summer, he would pay for it all out of his own pocket. 60 to 100 kids from South Central and LA, Watts, and Compton.
Wow.
And so I got to see how he paid it forward. And that's what so under that, I just wanted to be around him. So I became a tutor. And I would tutor, and then I would work the camp, and I would do whatever I can do to help my doctor. Right. And that's how I got into working with kids.
Oh, okay.
And so now I'm 14 working with 7-year-olds. I'm 20 working with 14-year-olds, 25, working with 50, so I've been in it. And then so I worked with the kids for years. And then when I was in college, I worked at a bank, did banking, whatever. But after the banking thing ended, when the housing market crashed in 2008, I was looking for a job. And I fell back on working with children. So I got a job at this company out here in LA called Hathaway Sycamores. Worked there for 9 years. And it's a mental health agency that covers Spot 6. If you're from LA, Spot 6 covers downtown to South Central to Compton to Inglewood. Basically, every part of LA that you see on music videos, those are my kids. Every project, I had to work.
Wow.
And so I worked mental health, working with those kids for 9.5 years, working with children. While I was there, I've basically figured out my own formula to working with families and curbing behavior. Instead of going back, they're like, I was thinking about going back and get my master's in social work or whatever to become a licensed therapist. I'm not gonna do that because everything I see these therapists doing, they're not as good as me. I just relate to these kids. And so I drafted my own way of working with children and working with families and my own communication styles while I was in that job.
Right.
And then I left that job and created while I kind of did both at the same time. I worked there and had my own company for a while. Then I left. And basically with that company, I work with families, work with children with behavior issues. I get to the root of their issues, behaviors, communicate to the family what the issues are and get the parents and the children on the same page, because so many parents talk at children, not to children. And so many children feel misunderstood because they can't communicate to their parents. Right. And so years and years and years of doing that is what made me create that, which again, sorry to be long-winded, was the reason why I had the documentary. Because one thing that I saw all them years working with kids with behaviors, I saw a strong connection between lack of knowledge of self and group esteem and behavior. And and I read studies, the higher the group esteem, the higher the self-esteem. And when you have a high group esteem, you're less likely to cause harm to other people from your group. And and then I got into working with IEPs and mental health, for the special education. And when I work with these special ed kids, I'm like, wow, all these Black kids in special education, the smartest kids that I work with. What's going on here? And then I saw Hidden Colors, and Dr. Welsing talked about the special education system. And I was like, yo, I'm dealing with this every day at work. And it brought voice to what I've been seeing, that I'm literally going through depression, trying to figure this stuff out. Right. Can't figure it out. When I heard Dr. Welsing and Brother Kabakama, they talk about the special education system, I said, that's my job. And then from there, that's what helped me create Breakthrough. I was like, okay, now I went from being angry and frustrated to like, now I know it's a system. I can do something to fix it. And so when I work with them kids, I would always teach them history, Black history, music history. It wasn't like I was planning on being a music documentarian, but I would have these 10-year-old kids who love Michael Jackson, and I'd be like, yo, he like, how you like Michael? And I would teach them music history. Oh yeah, Black people created that. Black people did this. And I would notice as their esteem raised, their behaviors minimized.
Oh, that's a fact.
And so I said, okay, instead of running around all day trying to hack away at behaviors, let me go to the root of it and show them how great they are. Right. And through the greatness within, the behavior is gonna flower out. And so I did that for years on the day-to-day level, which led me to now doing a documentary, because now instead of working with one kid at a time or one parent at a time, one family at a time, let me put it out on the mass level to where everybody, let me do whatever work that I do, I put out there, even in my comedy. It is to uplift, to teach, and to grow. And that's my responsibility as an artist. My responsibility is to create art that's going to raise the level of self-esteem and group esteem. And so, so it all fuses together why I do so many things and why I do what I do.
Well, it's all worth it, especially for the kids. They need it. And if you're changing them like that, and that just made sense, when people have low self-esteem, they're mad, they have attitudes, they want to hurt other people, they're jealous of people that have, this don't have that issue. And so I think that's an amazing thing that you're doing. So kudos to you for that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you for being here with Black Link Magazine. We could go on and on and on, but I appreciate I'm giving you some time back on your
Yes.
Saturday. I do appreciate you being here. And before you go, tell the people how they can reach you on all social media sites and your website.
You can find me at DwannB.com. That's that everything is linked to DwannB.com. All my social media, all my businesses, everything, anything I have going on is on DwannB.com. It's DwannB everywhere. See how my name is spelled? DWANN with letter B all together. It's that on Twitter. It's that on YouTube. Follow my YouTube channel at DwannB because I talk about current events. And people may get thrown on because I'm a comedian, so I do talk a little bit of crap. But it all lends back, it always take it back to a point that we can learn from.
Yeah, what's your YouTube channel?
At DwannB. DWANNB.
That's YouTube?
Yes, YouTube. And then I used to call my show Hotep-ish, and I used to call it that. I don't call it that anymore because that was me ribbing at people. They always call Black folks that like our history Hoteps, so I went and trademarked the name Hotep-ish. Like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna embrace it. Okay. I'm not gonna let y'all own that name, but I go by DwannB. It's on YouTube. I talk about current events. I throw my card reading in on current situations and what's going on, and
interesting.
I even put my predictions up that I said a year ago. Look, it's happening right now. Like I told people 2 months ago, Diddy's about to face a bunch of legal disputes that's going to hit his wallet. And a month later, look what happened. It's all documented. I do a lot of different things, and everybody ain't gonna rock with everything that I do, and I get it, and I got respect for it. But I like to just express my whole world on my YouTube channel. They told me I should have a bunch of different channels. Like, no, I put it all here and let the listener decide what they want and what they don't want.
That's good. That's good. Before we go, I have a few questions for you. Mm-hmm. So, drive or fly?
Drive. If it's within 8 hours, if it's within an 8-hour drive, I'm driving.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
I knew you was gonna say that because you're from California.
June, look how sunny it is out here. It's 74 degrees right now.
Yeah. Breakfast or dinner?
Probably breakfast.
Why?
I like French toast and chicken wings.
Okay. Okay. And that sounds good. That sounds good. Right. I have to try that. Anyway, again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I look forward to us collaborating, seeing what we can do, together. I can't wait to get you in the magazine. We will stay in touch with you with that. Otherwise, you guys go out and follow DwannB on everything. Go check out his website, DwannB. I'm Marva B. Subscribe, like, and share to the Black Link Experience on YouTube. We're going to go for now, but remember, respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.
Thank you.